9.
It makes a tremendous difference because there's such an incentive on getting those Triforces as soon as you can. You know what items you need, and that can cause you to be a little deprived on resources, particularly going into 9, depending on how the seed plays out.
Yeah, you can get your 5 Triforces in your...
Just tell us Mugu Mugu.
That's right. So these guys need the book, which is kind of a cool twist on this too, which is what you're referring to. None of the old men are going to help you out until you have that book. If you can present them with the book, they're going to actually uncover their secrets for you, but not until then. So makes the book a little more valuable, a lot more fun.
And that is one of the recent changes in the Z1 randomizer, and it'll be one of the features. Hey, we've got level 9 at vanilla start, so it'll be pretty easy to get back to.
Yeah, no complaints there. Being able to locate level 9 is very important because we talked about having 5 Triforces early on. Sometimes you get 5 Triforces pretty quick, but you're still looking for 9, so your work's not done yet. Having level 9 right out of the gate 1 minute into the seed is very, very comforting for both these players.
So, very expensive bombs at 30 rupees a pack. One of the themes of this tournament has been to make the book a little bit more valuable, so we'll see its role change in the later stages, but for now, used to understand hints, which can be very valuable when you're just looking for the bow.
Yeah, absolutely. All the hints are helpful, and you get 2 overworld hint shops. So there's 6 free hints that, well, not free, you got to buy them, but there's 6 hints on the overworld you can get. You can get the white sword item location from an old man. Inside the levels, you can get hints, and then level 9 itself is going to give you some hints on where Zelda is, where Ganon is, where the silvers are. So there's tons of hints out there if you can just find that book.
What they are looking for now is these open caves, because one of them, like this one Sparkover just found, is going to have the wood sword. Another might have level 7, which is not quite as not quite the same in the first 2 minutes of a seed.
Yeah, you're darn right. And we talked about the over-under being 6 minutes. Having a sword right away within 2 minutes of the seed opening here is great. Yeah, Sparkover and Zardy are both kind of going for an Armos play here. They're looking for this first Western Armos. It's very helpful because you're going to get a free item out of one of the 5 Armos, so they want to check those pretty quickly. On the way, they found their sword, and if Zardia has any luck up here, is going to find level 8 just like Sparkover did. So a lot of good early finds for these runners.
Ooh, those Tactites being high HP is not nice at all. It's one of those things that you might not think of at first glance with randomized HP as being a difficult enemy, but their movement's erratic, and when they don't go down to that first hit, that can be really off-putting because you're just used to them dying.
Yeah, they're a tough enemy too because, like you said, you're used to them dying after that first hit. Oh my gosh, what a great find over on Sparkover's side. If you look over there, one of the 2 items in 8 is going to be the white sword, which is going to increase her damage. But yeah, like you were saying with the spiders, the Tektites, just you hit them and they kind of bounce away, and they're just hard to predict and plan for. So that screen's going to be a tough one that Zardia might not go back to. He had the information that was not the Armos item, which kind of checked an item off his list there. He's looking for that Armos pretty hard. So going back to that screen might take him a while. So it might take him a while to get back to 8.
Okay, so here's how my devious mind works. It took less than a minute to get to that screen, and I could get the white sword for, well, I guess I couldn't get it for free. What was the enemy in that room?
I think they were Gibdos.
Gibdos. Okay, that wouldn't work then, unless you had bombs.
What were you thinking?
Go get the candle from the wood sword cave, then get the white sword instead. But this enemy set wouldn't really allow that strategy.
No, there's no guarantee. I mean, they're plus or minus 2, but that candle's not going to, get 4 or 5 hits in on them. That'd be very tough to do.
I'd consider it at least.
And the thing is, you don't know that sword's under there though until you.
No, I'm saying once you find out, up A.
After Sparkover finds out, go back and do it. Yeah, I can see.
If you can get past the enemies, but this one wouldn't allow for that.
That's rolling the dice a little too much for my blood, sir. Another early ladder, early staircase here, so Sparkover might be able to find another item. This could be the transport staircase. There's one of those in every dungeon, or in every level 8, but let's see what she finds. It is the wand. Oh my gosh, Trenton, what an early find here.
Unbelievable. Level 8 is the combat level. Neither of these required, but both helpful.
Yeah, so the good thing for Zardia is if he never goes back to 8, neither of those two things are required. But the advantage Sparkover is going to have is now she has in both hands, left and right hand, though, the wand and the white sword, 2 points of damage. And if she stacks those by using A and B at the same time, she's going to have magical sword level damage from 5 minutes into this game. So what a great advantage for her.
This level 8 just keeps on giving. A heart container as well.
Yeah, she's making very quick work of this 8, so she knows now all she's looking for is drop rooms for that Triforce, and she's out of here. And if she comes across blocks and stuff like that, she can dip out and know she has everything in here but the Triforce and come back later if she'd like to.
Well, a key is not a bad find, but that might be enough reason to leave this level 8, because I don't want to spend a key in a big dungeon looking for a Triforce.
Yeah, it's a known commodity for her. Like you said, it might be a wise move to just jump out and you can come back to 8 when you have, maybe a blue ring or red ring or something like that. Because that shutter door closing behind you going left is going to be very difficult on 4 hearts to get through. So if there's another way through this 8, so be it. I don't know if she wants to use a key here to try to go around those guys. But yeah, this could be a very difficult combat level 8 for her.
I just, all those rooms, it's too easy to run into another block. I personally would have preferred leaving with the key, taking it into another dungeon. But
yeah,
so
it's a legit strat for sure.
So far, this 8 is cooperating.
It is now. So this is a dark room. We know there can't be a Triforce here, but she could get a compass, which could point her to the right room. So that's a good reason to clear it. Also, she's shut in on 3 sides.
I think Zar just cut the Armos item, but...
I think those were the silvers.
Huh?
I think they were the silvers.
I went so fast, I'm not sure, but we ought to see Zar's inventory at some point.
Yeah, nothing went in his B inventory slot, so it's going to be something like a raft or ladder or something like that he picked up, and they were thin enough. I believe those were the silvers.
It's very possible. I do think it was something narrow, and that would fit the bill.
Yeah, a good tip-off is if you don't see something show up in that B slot, it's something like silvers or something like that. So that could be a great find for Zardia. And, I mean, he's not out of the match by any means by not finding that level 8 or getting, we're 7 minutes into this thing. But he needs to make up a little bit of ground on something because Sparkover just had a great 8 to start this match.
Well, the exploration continues. Now, that one is a transport staircase, since we found both items out of 8 already.
With as weird as this left side was, I might have taken that, because if it takes you to the northeast and gets you exploring a little bit more of the 8, I might have taken that transport.
I think this is kind of a grid search approach. Check off the rooms that are in this area before you go somewhere else. Well, is that the other side of the transport?
It could be. This is definitely either a drop room or a push block room. It could do either of the two things. She's getting stuck here. Doing a good job maneuvering, so good movement by Sparkover right now.
We caught up with you. One thing you can do in that room is block clip, but that doesn't always work out on the fly.
Zardia working for that bomb over on his side. He's in the northeast of Hyrule, and there's like 4 bomb caves up here that you just don't want to explore the northeast without doing them because you're going to have to come back later because you're leaving too many caves on the table. So working for that blue moblin there and grabbing the bomb was a heads-up move, and he's going to be able to explore all the northeast now.
You are confirmed correct that Zar has picked up the silver arrows from the Armos item.
His good eyes sometimes are useful for some things.
Of course, in the room before we started, Zar was hoping for no bow in 7. I'm sure that's where it will end up being.
I don't know if that was a shot at me before he started or not, because he saw I was calling it.
Zar did find their first take Annie and gets his blue candle now. We've not seen it for sale in a shop, which even further justifies the play at this point. He's got 100 rupees, so he could afford one, but sometimes finding that shop can be a little difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to be able to, like you said, use your resources wisely. So early game, just kind of reading the seed and seeing what it gives you and what it requires you to buy and not buy, so you can save some of that. Also, because we have the friendly hints, if you find that book, just saving some money for the book is wise too.
So we're approaching, I think, over 6 minutes of Sparkover being in this level 8 now. Obviously got the wand and silvers, but Oh, and that the Triforce was in a room Spark had already been in.
Yeah, I believe that was the item room, and you can clear an item room and they drop now. So, no, that was one north of the item room. So I wonder what's in here that Sparkover decided not to kill.
Troll Handle.
One of
That
these
explains it.
guys.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I would pass this guy up too, for sure. But what a great kill by her. She left a bomb on the ground, but she'll trade a Triforce for a bomb pack any day. Sparkover's out of 8 with White Sword, Wand, the Heart, and the Triforce. Well done, Sparkover.
It was a lot of time invested in coming out with no keys. Was the unfortunate thing.
Zardia has found level 4, which is a good find. It's a little linear down at the bottom, so there are blocks sometimes to be had, but it's a quick enough dungeon that if you're able to find a favorable enemy set, we do have some Wizrobes here, which scares me a little bit, you can clear 4 pretty quickly.
Didn't light up the room to see it, but apparently it's an open one.
Yeah,
Goodness is they drop bombs.
Yeah, those oranges are nice because they line up for you. They don't move once they appear, so as long as you stay out of their fire, they're going to drop some bombs for you and enable you to refill, which is great.
Hard hitting, but as long as you see them and have time, and maybe they'll drop a compass too.
I think he really wants a key. Like, everything he's been in right now has just been key blocked, unfortunately. So Zardia is looking for a key. He is going to get a heart here, which is nice, but wants to be able to go south, so he's got to search for a key currently.
Meanwhile, for Spark, level 1 is located in one of the more difficult spots to locate it. It's the one east of the very southwest. You have to have a bomb to open up this screen. And it's not always the easiest to route in.
No, not at all. And sometimes if you don't have that bomb, you just avoid it until you do. And so it takes you a while to route it in, like you said, until later in the match. Sparkover now has found level 8 and level 1. And the significance of that is there's 4 items to be had here for her. So just really efficient use of her time as far as item hunting. So this is really good. I don't know if she's going to be key blocked here, but because she can't go south from there. So she needs to find a couple keys, maybe hopefully the any key in here. Because this looks right now to me, Trenton, as a key-starved seed.
Well, that'd be interesting if it's the second one in a row for me. Had to do one the other day where one of the runners had to leave level 9, purchase 2 keys, and needed both of them to finish. There's one on the ground.
And like you were saying at the top of the race, I mean, because you are limited on resources, because you're not in a lot of these dungeons for very long and not in all the dungeons altogether, sometimes you just miss that. But oh my god, the hits keep on coming for Sparkover. There's the ladder, Trenton.
We've now seen 2 of the big 3. The ladder's not always required, but often is. We know the silvers are the Armos items, so it won't be difficult for Spark to locate those. Now the question becomes, where's the bow? Not where's the beef, where's the bow?
Exactly. So we got silvers, like you said, we got a ladder. What would be really cool for Sparkover now is if this ladder unlocks the any key on the coast. We've not seen the coast item yet, so that would be a great find for her over on the coast waiting for her.
Meanwhile, for Zar, this Dig of 4 makes sense. It's one of the shorter dungeons. It's kind of the longest of the short dungeons, but so far has not found the item yet.
Yeah, this reverse C could be it. There's only one stair in 4. This is going to be something. It's the book!
Well, again, as far as non-required items go, now having the hints could potentially set you up for something.
Yeah, and it's early enough that even if you don't find any of the hint caves, just the hints inside the levels are going to be worth their weight in gold to Zardia. Because sometimes you get item hints, you get where levels are, those types of things. So that was just a great find early on.
Spark found a heart drop, but usually you have to assume that that is just the dungeon heart until you see a second one.
Yeah, the first one in the back of your mind is always, this is the dungeon heart. You never think that that's going to be the item that's in the room. Otherwise, you're going to leave an item somewhere. So you always have to assume that's the dungeon heart, like you said.
Still looking for that floor drop.
It's rough for her because she does not have a candle yet. So it's a little bit rough.
NSU room's going to lead to another key.
It's already out of 4, so we're 1-1 on Triforces, but Sparkover has the item advantage for sure.
Leaving with those 2 keys could help exploration in another.
All right, so you get your pick right now. We've got a book and silvers and one Triforce on one side. We have white sword one and ladder and one Triforce on the other. Two Triforces. Which one are you taking?
I mean, I love having the ladder and knowing I'm not going to face that block. I also, just on the subtlety side, love the two keys.
Yeah, that's not to be understated. That's a great point. Those two keys, I mean, that just enables you to explore more rooms and be a little more open and thorough with your searches. Look what Zardia found on 4 hearts. Holy cow.
Well, so much for being a key star seed.
The one minute advantage you were talking about is gone.
Well, the ladder is still definitely an advantage. It's just not a minute one.
No, ladder's a biggie. Oh, and there's a boomerang for Sparkover. Well, it's not, hugely impactful. Just having the knowledge of what's the second item in one was worth it to go back and get. So that's time not wasted. Any item you can check off your list is a good thing.
Yeah, so we've now seen both items out of 8, both items out of 1, the item out of 4, the Armos item, which, well, I guess I haven't been saying what these are. White Sword and Wand in level 8, Book at a level 4. Level 1 just revealed the wooden boomerang to go along with the ladder. White Sword item turned out to be the magic key, and Armos item the silvers.
And so the good thing for Zardia right now, if you want to look for an advantage on his side between the two, is that forgotten spot sometimes is the very last overworld spot people check. So having the any key advantage could be, really beneficial going into 9 if Sparkover just never goes there. Let's say Sparkover finds the bow, finds the silvers, gets 5 Triforces. You never have to go there, and you all of a sudden go into 9 on 1 or 2 keys. Zardia has that any key in his back pocket, and that could be a huge advantage for him going forward.
Yeah, but for Zar right now, it's a question of getting through those dungeons. Spark got through a couple of good ones. Zar's only completed the one so far.
Yeah, and just not ever going back to that Armos, or it might be a while till he goes back to that Armos where we know level 8 is, means he's not going to have any advantage combat-wise. He's not going to get any upgrades the rest of this match until he gets the magical sword if you use that.
By the way, we've not seen the blue ring for sale yet. Just one of those little subtleties of the seed.
Yeah, I haven't seen that shop at all. So they haven't done a lot of overworld exploring. If you think about it, 15, 16 minutes in, I mean, we've seen 3 levels. We found level 9. So they've done a lot of level diving right now. They haven't done a lot of overworld.
Zar's covered a little bit more ground, but didn't find levels of it. Wait, that was a hint, Zar. You upade too fast, Zar.
You're just not used to having it with these flags. You're like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to peace out. You could have definitely learned something there.
I think it might actually have been the white sword hint, though. It would have either had to have been that or the magic sword.
Yeah, mags or white sword, like you're saying. Sparkover finally 18 minutes in getting her candle, so no more dark rooms for Sparkover. All right, Sparkover finally finding her any roads here, so let's see where they take her in Hyrule. I didn't see around the first time. That's a good one, actually, to find, because that's one less power bracelet spot you have to worry about, which makes the power bracelet that much less required in the seed. So that's just a good thing in the back of your mind when you're exploring these any roads.
Chat seems to think that was a mugger, not a... Well, not mugger, but a thief instead of actually being a hint.
Well, smart moves, Zardia. A way to save your money. See, we had your back the whole time. Man, these Lionels on that waterfall screen are tricky because you only get 2 tiles of movement there, so getting around them into the waterfall is very tough. So that was good movement again by Sparkover.
Zar covering some ground up on Death Mountain, but still not finding levels. So it's looking like the forest is probably going to have to be pretty loaded on levels today.
Yeah, Forest, Death Mountain, Northwest and Southeast have not been that explored. Southwest and Northeast have, but the other corners of Hyrule have pretty much been untouched. And I'm really surprised Sparkover has not gone towards the coast yet, or at least completed the journey, because she has that ladder. If you see Bow on the coast, that's just fantastic for you.
And at that point, if you've had it, with our knowledge that our most item is actually the silver arrows, it would be that much more important, which is the other thing. Spark hasn't really gone for the Armos locations yet.
She's headed there right now. She's going to get her silvers right now.
There they are, nice and pretty and available. Sparkover picks it up.
I'd like to see her complete this journey now and get all the way to the coast and just get that one last piece of information the overworld's going to give her. Except for, she doesn't have the white sword item yet. So she doesn't know about the any key. But she needs more overworld knowledge. She got 1 and 8 out of the way. If she can get the trifecta of the overworld items that the seed gives you available at start, that would be nice.
We have not seen those bombs for sale any cheaper than 30 rupees. That's a little unfortunate on the price side, but still, sometimes you just need bombs.
Yeah, definitely. You'll trade bombs for time, and you don't want to have to backtrack. So if you know you're going up against okay, I'm going to go to Death Mountain and dig, that type of thing, I'll spend $60 all day long on an 8-pack of bombs, and then just be ready to force them up there and continue the progress.
First hint shop in this Armos area location. Actually, that might have been the second one now that I think about it, but I don't remember where the other was.
Yeah, that's the first one that I've seen. If you've seen another one, there's your blue ring shop that you were looking for before, is just north of the Armos in the northwest.
We've seen the blue ring get a lot more love in this tournament than it has in other events, just because we know we're that much less likely to get the red ring. Yeah,
and if you think about it too, you're not usually in all 8 dungeons, which means you don't see the bait block much. So that's one thing you don't have to buy. Having the extra candles is nice, that you're not buying candles every seed. So a lot of times you have the money for the blue ring. There's 3 big secrets, and the big secret gets rolled plus or minus 25 rupees. So, sometimes you just have plus or minus 50 rupees. So sometimes you can get a 120 or a 130 big secret, and you are good to go.
82 on the big secret is not very nice.
Yeah, as we're talking about that commentator's curse, we're 18 short of average there. 82 is kind of a bummer of a big secret, but you can see right now Zardia's already got 189 bucks right now, rupees right now, and has the silver arrows, so you don't have to buy arrows. Your bombs are pretty good. There's a lot of bomb dropping enemies in the overworld, so you can use that money for a blue ring if you'd like to. Sparkover finding level 5 here.
7 on the small secrets. This is a stingy on the money seed.
Yeah, it sure is. Luckily, like we said, there's items there that you're just gonna be able to get. You're not gonna have to buy keys because the seed's giving you the any key. You're not gonna have to buy arrows because the seed's giving you the silver. So there's a lot of things that you're not gonna have to buy this seed, which means that if these guys want this blue ring, it's wide open for them, the seed to buy.
Yeah, and when you're talking about there's the second hint shop, and Zar's got money and the book. Power bracelet not required, and also you're not required to go to the grave, but Graph not required. Not the most helpful hints, just truthful. Maria Grumbles has the red ring.
All right, so this is great information for Zardia. That's one level that's huge that you do not have to go into. So now Zardia can say, okay, I want to go ahead and make the educated decision that I want to buy the blue ring because I'm never going to step foot in 7. I don't have to. It's not going to be my bow. It's not going to be something required to get the bow. It's not going to be the raft, anything like that, because sail not to save the princess. So he does not have to step in 7 and knows the blue ring is a great pickup for him. That hint right there was worth its weight in gold for Zardia.
And there's our mugger. But if you can't bomb out of this one, then you may as well just up A and say goodbye.
I think you might be able to go north of that, but I would definitely explore everywhere else first. You're probably going to be able to get a transport around that mugger.
Talked about that in another one. It's an interesting decision when you run into that in an early dungeon. And even if I was blocking an item, I think I'd still get out of there, take my bombs for the rest of the seed, and go back to that at the end if I had to.
Yeah, if you get some knowledge later, with the helpful hints or something too, maybe it's going to make it a good decision, or it's going to make the seed point you back to that. But you definitely don't want to be giving up bombs in the seed like this. Sparkover unfortunately taking a death here, but does have the ladder. It looks like 5 might be ladder blocked to both the item and Triforce. Zardia does see the Triforce there in a Gibdo, so has some information in 6, just needs to find the item now. So this could be a pretty quick dig of 6 for Zardia.
you talked about the value of having the book early for these dungeons, and he just found out where the red candle is. So he is starting, now got 2 items, 2 dungeons where he knows the item, aside from the book he got out of 4. So that's 3 of the 9 dungeons he already knows the items.
Yeah, that book, just reading the Old Men, like you said. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go right ahead.
No, I was going to say, just being able to read the Old Men and read those hints. A lot of times you're walking through those rooms early and they're just kind of a dud of a level for you or a room for you. But for Zardia, those things are just pointing him towards where this bow is going to be by process of elimination. Now, I didn't see it. What did that say? Where did that say the red candle was?
Dig Dogger.
Gotcha. So that's 5. So we know that 5's going to have the red candle. 6 we still have no info on. So this is a worthy dig for Zardia for sure.
Also, this dungeon, Patra Infested, it has to do with the boss set, but if you get the Patra boss set, that's the only boss that will be in the dungeon.
Yeah, Patra's always a bummer. You see it, and it just takes so long to kill them. They're always back to back. They're next door to each other. They're buddies. You just don't want to see them. Patras stink no matter when you fight them.
Well, they always bring the little Patras to the park together, so they get a group together, have coffee, blah blah blah.
Go out to dinner afterwards. It's the whole deal. They make a day of it.
Zara about to leave the room, but then says, "Oh, I'll take that heart, thank you."
So this dig for Sparkover is going to be good for a Triforce. We know the red candle's here. Now, the red candle is not going to be as useful for Zardia or for Sparkover as it would be for Zardia. Zardia's probably not getting that wand, so it'd be good to pick up like a ranged weapon like that. Sparkover might even skip the red candle when she sees it.
To go back to that max bomb for just a moment, the other thing about it is it's not giving up 1 bomb. It's every time you would have maxed and you're not getting that extra bomb. So just giving up that 1 max could be 10, 12, 16 bombs over the course of a seed easily.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, and people don't think of it that way because, like you said, it's not just that 1. Every time you fill, you're coming short of that, and so you're just going to have 1 less bomb for combat, exploration, whatever it is. And even though these are vanilla shapes and you know them, sometimes the journey through the shape is different. So absolutely, that's important.
6 has the magic boomerang.
All right, so our bow guys, the process elimination right now, the only thing you need to know is these guys are really looking for the bow. The silvers were the Armos item, and the ladder was in 1. The bow is either in 2 or 3, which we have not seen those 2 levels yet. Could be on the coast, and it could also be in 9, because important items can be in 9. So 2, 3, 9, or the coast item. I would really love for these guys to get over to the coast.
And I think if you have the Triforces, you definitely go for 9.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to do that because, for one thing, the percentage stats, the percentage-wise of what we know. Now, we know everything in total. These guys have kind of pieces of the information. But still, if you have 2 of the 3 things, if you're in Sparkover's shoes and you've got silvers and ladder, that type of thing, you absolutely go for 9 and make the game take you out of 9. If you've got 5 Triforces, you go.
Interesting for Zar is he might actually... Well, he doesn't have more of the key picture, but he has more of the total picture because of those hints.
Yeah, he'll be able to piece and read the seed a little quicker than Sparkover will. Sparkover is going to be able to dig a little faster than Zardia does, so just that dynamic's going to be kind of fun to watch and see how it plays out the rest of the race. This is a situation where you can just go run straight into that Triforce if you want to get it, but I think Zardia's digging for bombs before he does that.
Only a 2, and this is definitely a bomb-dropping enemy, so it's a play that absolutely makes sense.
So Zardia on the board, the second Triforce, caught back up in that department. They both have silvers. Sparkover has a little bit more of combat advantage, got the white sword and the wand, as well as having the ladder compared to Zardia. So Sparkover, I would say, is slightly ahead here, but Zardia with that book might just be able to catch up just solely based on that.
I think the big question is, how long does it take Zar to get to the ladder?
Remember how we were saying here that you can bomb north of a mugger room like this? For Sparkover, you might have to give up a heart or a max bomb to go north of that Triforce. How important is this Triforce to you? I guarantee she can bomb north after this.
And there it is. That would be a tough call for me. And it's easy to say something like this in retrospect and when you're not racing, but I almost would have liked the idea of just leaving that and knowing I had that Triforce in the bank.
Yeah, you can always make that the
More
fifth one, but man, you're here. You don't want to come back this way for it, right? It's right here. It's very tough to make that call. She's also looking for the item still. I don't think she got the red candle out of here, did she?
You're right. I've not marked that. Still got the blue.
Yeah, I think this is her room right here.
I will say that starts... Well, no, it's just a transport, but that starts to add up when you're talking about an item and a Triforce.
Yeah, absolutely. Zardia finding 3. We don't have info on 3, so this might be a... Oh, and that's actually really good, too. Dodongo dwells along the coast, so now he has information on levels 2 and 3, 2 levels that we don't have item info on. So that is a huge part of this race. If the bow's in 2 or 3, Zardia here might just be catching up a little bit.
Yeah, again, we don't know that ladder's going to be required in this seed. Certainly required in some of the dungeons, but that's only part of the story. There's the red candle for Spark.
Yeah, Spark's going to take it. The red candle gets a little bit outclassed by the wand, but once you get the book, the wand adds fire to the end of the wand too, so red candle makes it a little safer. So having both of those is kind of having 2 things that are doing the same thing for her currently, but it does give you a little bit more freedom once you get the book to go with that wand.
30 minutes in, we know where the ladder is. We know where the silvers are. We do not know the items in 9, 3, or 2. We also know Sparkover has Triforce at a level 5.
That was really well done on half a heart, too. She had to dodge not only the fireballs, but her own candle there at the end. So does clear that out, has her 3rd Triforce. 3 has the raft. We know the raft is not required, so this could have been a quick up A from Zardia, but that's okay. He's got some info. The wand is now down to levels 2, 9, or the coast item. Please, runners, get to the coast.
Now, although I believe under hint logic, that would still mean that a level is not blocked by the raft. That doesn't mean a bonus isn't blocked by the raft.
Yeah, you could have, a take Annie or something like that, absolutely not blocked by it. You could have a bomb shop or something not blocked by it, but it's not going to be something to where the bow is across there or anything like that.
One of the other subtle advantages for Zar in his dungeon exploration, having the magic key, he can leave keys on the ground. They tell him that that is not a room that can drop the Triforce, and that is not a room whose reward he's going to need, something like bombs. So he can leave those keys on the ground, and they serve as a good reminder every time you walk in the room. Okay, I don't need to fight in this room.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's whenever you've got the any key and you're good on bombs and that type of thing, like you're saying, there's so many rooms that you can just say, nope, I'm out of here. I don't need whatever drops, even if it's a drop room. Like, I don't need whatever drops, especially if you have like a compass or something, you know where the Triforce is. There's only one room the entire level you have to worry about because you don't need keys, you don't need bombs, anything like that. You can just fly. So having that any key just saves you so much time, like you're talking about.
Chad asked, what if they never check the coast and RBG goes mad? Right as Sparkover checks the coast and finds the power bracelet. So the world will never know.
Right, exactly. Sparkover does find 2, though, on the coast, like the hint that Zardia got. So if this bow is in 2 right now, then Sparkover is home free.
That would definitely be Triforce and Go mode.
I mean, if we're down to, guys, the only thing you need to know about this seed right now is Zardia needs to still find the ladder maybe in 1, but the bow has to be either in 2 or 9. So Zardia has to get 3 more Triforces, and either 2 or 9 has his bow. Sparkover is the same thing, just needs 2 Triforces. There's one of them right there. Needs to find the other item. Having this ladder has just been so beneficial to being able to navigate a lot of these dungeons. They've been tough combat and dodging-wise, but Sparkover's ladder has really just allowed her to explore. Like, Zardia had to get out of 3 right there, right? Because of the ladder situation in the north. Sparkover won't have to do that. So even though it might not be absolutely necessary, you're not having to go back like you're seeing Zardia do too much.
And also, again, just worthy of note that while we have a much broader picture of the items because of the runners covering some different ground, for Sparkover without the hints, doesn't know the items in 2 or 3, doesn't know 5, 6, 7, or 9. And still doesn't actually have... Yeah, did pick up the silvers. Correct, up there.
Yeah, that's a good eye in chat, too. You see Zardia spending a little time right now being stuck grinding some bombs. Just the bomb luck right now in the drops. This could be a drop right here for him, but, man, just trying to get through, and it is, just trying to get through some of these levels and keep the bomb supply high. It's just been a little rough sledding for Zardia so far.
I think that was just a little bonus routing to pick that up since he had the dungeon and could refresh the enemies faster, which is actually play out really liking.
Yeah, for sure. The enemies, if you don't know that, yeah, the enemies will always replenish as long as you kill all of them and then go in a dungeon. If you come back out, the enemies appear again, so they're not just gonna, sit there and be gone forever until you go 6 or 7 screens. So that's very nice for Zardia right there, being able to refill the bombs using that trick. That's a good point.
Spark finds art container in 2. Could potentially still be the dungeon item. We don't know that. We don't know where the bow is yet. And recorder we do not have identified yet.
Yeah, so we're down to heart, bow, and recorder between levels 2 and 9. So like you said, as soon as you get the chance to go into 9, that play is going to make a whole lot of sense for both runners, even if they don't know it yet.
We're back into level 5. Got the hint that this was the red candle dungeon, so just looking for Triforce.
Yeah, you see Zardia going the wrong way. I think Sparkover just got Y-Force bumping into a Gibdo and being knocked into the Triforce. She'll take it and come back in, but Zardia needs to go north. Doesn't realize it yet. He's going to see a mugger. Might go through the same exact scenario as what Sparkover did and clear the entire south so he doesn't have to worry about that mugger. Fortunately, it's going to be the wrong play, and we know that right now, so he might spend a little bit of time here in 5. But I think this was ladder block, so this might actually point him north, which would be great.
Yeah, a little room to explore the right. No, that's so yeah, has to go to the mugger. Question in chat, but let me address it a little bit different way. In the Swiss round of the Pentaforce tournament, dungeon shapes are vanilla. So level 1 is level 1 first quest that you're used to from Zelda Randomizer. It's just the entrance that's actually randomized, but as Sparkover picks up the map for level 2, you can see it's the Crescent Moon just like it is in vanilla.
Yeah, I think levels 2, 3, and 4 have about the same number of rooms. 5 gets a little bigger and 6 a little bigger than that. Oh my gosh, that is not a room you want to jump into right there for Sparkover.
And that's probably a bomb wall at the south.
That could be the item room, which is the scary thing, though.
You knew that had to be a bomb wall because it's all connected. There's no transport staircase, and that was the only way to get through the dungeon.
Yeah, that actually kind of... They all... I want to see this. I want to see this play out to where that's a required room because neither runner is going to want to clear that room. They're going to do everything else but clear that room in this game before they have to come back to that one. To get back on that, though, the way this game is laid out is actually, levels 1 through 6 are all, you can put all the shapes together and they make a 9x18 grid. And then levels 7 and 8 are the same thing. You can do the same thing. They're kind of inverses of each other and you can put them together and they make that same 9x18 grid. And then level 9 is its own. So they all kind of fit together that way. So as far as the shape and how the size of them, 2, 3, and 4 were about the same when they created the game. And so they're not any bigger or shorter here because it's vanilla. Now, if we randomize the shapes, then yeah, you'll see a lot of, level 1 is pretty small and 2 and 3 and 4 get a little bit bigger. That's just kind of how they roll out. But this is just using the vanilla shapes, which they're about the same size.
Okay, so Sparkover cleared this room with the easier combat first.
I'm telling you, dude.
Now it looks like this is the room. And that might cause you to just leave too instead.
Honestly, that room is probably best attacked from like the left side or something to where, you're going to be shut in there, but you're going to have a little more room to maneuver than 2 columns. You're going to have, 3 or 4 right there before the blocks. So one of those 2 sides, even though you won't be able to get to the item that drops in the middle, it'll clear long enough that you can go back around and pick up whatever item it was. You just want to give yourself the best way to clear that room. It's not going to be through the middle chute. It's going to be to the sides of both of them.
Hey, there's our letter at vanilla level 8. So medicine purchases now available. Come to think of it, we really haven't seen that many medicine shops.
We really haven't. Yeah, like you said, we haven't done a lot of Death Mountain. Maybe they're all tucked up there. I mean, Zardia started to, but found something pretty quick, so kind of abandoned that. You're right. We haven't seen a lot of those medicine shops at all.
Now it's Sparkover who's farming the overworld enemies, trying to find some bombs.
I really hope for our runners, like for everybody's sake, whoever was running this right now, this level 2, that was the drop room, but it's a heart, and we never have to go back to it because that room is just going to take a lot to clear.
Chad asks, what was the item in 2? That's one of 2 dungeons where we do not know the answer to yet. We do not know 2. We do not know 9. We know it's between the recorder, the bow, and whatever the heart container at this point.
Sparker, we're doing a little trick here that, if you're not sure of this or is kind of your first time watching, the reason she bought 2 drinks there is because you can put 2 blues together to make a red. So 2 blues cost $80 in total. The red was $85, so it saved her $5 to do it that way. Took a little more time, but she used a little trick of the game to get a red potion in the end.
And by the way, did not go to the forgotten spot when it was 1 screen away, which is where we happen to know the magic key is.
Well, the problem with that is that that's my routing too. If I was in her shoes, I'd be doing this exact same routing going up here because right up here, there's 3 items, 3 places that you can bomb or walk into compared to the one that's at the forgotten spot. So she's going by how many things can I do fast enough, and she's going up here, which makes a lot of sense in the routing. The forgotten spot is called that not because you forget about it, because you want to forget about it, because it just takes so long to get in and route in. People don't usually forget it's there. It's tough to route in, and Zardia wisely did it early on this seed.
Zar gonna get his Triforce out of 2 here at the 41-minute mark.
Yeah, can't find bombs. It was, to let you know what was in 2, it was a shoot room with 8 blue whiz robes. A vertical shoot room that you go, I think you're locked in from the top, and it's a bomb hole at the bottom, so there's no way to sit in the doorway.
Yeah, and you have to go through the north to go anywhere. You can't, I don't think you could access even the right side without going through.
Yeah, I know the west side you could. The right side, I think there's a room on that right. There has to be a room on the right side of it. So I think all 4 there's access to, yeah.
There was one. I'm just not sure if you could go to it directly or if you'd have to go to the south and then east and then up and then over.
Zardia might just be noping out of this anyway.
This is a tough call for Zar because, again, he's missing 2 items, not just the 1. He's missing the ladder, which he now knows leads to the power bracelet. He's also got the hint that he does not need the power bracelet seed.
Yeah, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of pointing him away from having to get the ladder. But what's really eating at Zardia right now is not finding either 1 or 8. And that's 4 items he's leaving on the table that he's not seen right now that Sparkover has. So Zardia does have the hint that still not to save the princess. This isn't going to be anything big, but he now knows where Mags is.
Yeah, that's the hard part is getting enough hearts to get Mags. It doesn't happen a lot in these.
Sparkover taking an unfortunate overworld death. Some of the overworld screens here have not been very friendly, so they haven't found Red Ring. We know Red Ring's in 7. These guys aren't going to 7 unless the game forces them to go to 7. So Sparkover really just wants to find 1 more level, find a Triforce, and get into 9. That's in the back of her mind right now. That's exactly what she wants to do. Find 1 more level, get into 9. If the 2 items in 9 are not the bow, she'll come back out. But all she's doing right now, she's level hunting for 1 level.
Well, there's a level, but it's 6.
6 was very fast. Remember, the Triforce was pretty quick here early. And if she doesn't want to dig, she can take the Triforce and go to 9 right now, because I believe the Triforce was just 2 rooms away from here. It was a quick Triforce, but it took a little longer to dig the item out, which was the blue boomerang.
And Zar's at the other hint shop. Red Ring is ladder required. Heart container is level 2. So it was the dungeon item.
That's so that's perfect. Okay, and that's actually great for Zardia. Yeah. Sorry again to cut you off. That was a great hint for Zardia because he's going to be absolutely looking for level 1 before he goes into 9. He wants that ladder. Doesn't know the other item in 1. It could be the bow for all he knows. So he's going to be searching the overworld as much as he can looking for this level 1.
I'll actually call that 2 great hints for Zar, knowing that he doesn't need to go back to level 2. Considering that he's missing those 2 items, level 2 is one that looms large to you, knowing it's a short one.
Okay, so now here's your race, folks. Here's basically what this is all going to boil down to. Can Zardia find level 1, which is in the southwest, which is going to give him the ladder, which he knows is going to give him another Triforce quickly, faster than Zardia can get through 3 and find the bow and kill Ganon in 9. So Zardia has to play a little catch-up right now, but that's what's on the table. Zardia has to find level 1 right now for that ladder. Otherwise, I don't think the seed's going to unlock fast enough for him to get into 9 and chase down Sparkover.
Here's the other thing. With that information, we now know every dungeon's item. Now, this is with our knowledge. They don't quite have... Neither one of our runners have quite enough information to put all this together. But that lets us know the bow is 100% in level 9.
Yeah, absolutely. Bow and Recorder are 2 items in 9, so especially Zardia. Zardia is going to have a tougher time right now putting all of it together because he doesn't have a lot of the info in 8. You know, he didn't get those hints or anything, or 9. He has a lot of the middle game hints, like, 4, 5, 6, those types of things now, and one of the items in 1. But as far as just really being able to deduce where this bow is, he can't because he hasn't seen 8 yet or that other item in 1. So it's going to be very tough for him to do that.
What it does do for him, however, is once you clear out 1 and have those, that's going to leave just 8 and 9 unknown to him. So it's a 50% chance for him to have bow in 9.
Yeah, and we're looking at what we talked about probably 20 or 25 minutes ago, where we might have a level 9 to where Sparkover enters with 2 or 3 keys, and Zardia's got that any key. So that could be the other wild card that helps Zardia explore level 9 a little bit quicker than Sparkover, because Sparkover's going to be very careful with her keys.
And also it could pay a little bit of dividends in routing through 9, where Zar's not clearing out all the rooms, not needing keys, if the bomb supply is good, because he didn't pay the mugger either. So he'll have a bomb advantage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. There's level 1 right there. So this could be very, very close. Even though it looks like Sparkover has a huge advantage right now, this is closer than it looks, guys.
Zar should leave here with the ladder and the Triforce. Need 1 more to get into 9. Knows where 9 is. And then with a 50% gamble that gives you the bow, I don't even think most runners would think twice about going into 9 with the ladder.
Man, Sparkover's trying to dodge these bunnies, and I don't blame her. I mean, you don't want to sit there and kill them off, but and try to get into this item room. The item room, unfortunately, is the raft, which we know is not required. So should just be looking for the Triforce, but she is trying to, again, get down in her mind, because she has no hints or anything like that, through process elimination where this bow is. This could be the bow in her mind. For all she knows, getting through this is going to give her the bow. So to us, we're sitting here going, oh, don't do this. To her, it's like, man, this might be my bow. So you gotta understand and respect what she's going through right now.
And also the shorter dungeons. I feel like that puts a lot of emphasis on when you're here, try and get that item out whenever possible.
She did the smart move there.
Less time.
You're exactly right. Yeah, and she did the smart move there by just going, because if you can go on initial reaction, you can kind of see their pattern of which way they jump. You're not giving them time to move. They're all going to move vertically up first, so you're not going to move left or right or anything like that. They all jump right away if they can with the room. So that's just a great move by her, just to go straight into it and go straight for the staircase. And again, that's even though the raft is not required, we all know that. That's just one more item that she can check off, which makes her that much more confident that her play into 9 is going to be the right one.
Also, Spark is going to leave behind the item in 2, because that already happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really good for her. She's seeing a lot of open doorways and keys on the floor. So she's up to 5. She may get to 6 keys here before she gets into 9. This is going to be really, really good.
We wondered early if it would be a key-starved seed, but it has not really played out that way.
No, and in front of her right now, unfortunately, is a Patra she's got to get through. This will not be anything that she wants. This is not going to be the Triforce. It's a Dark Room, so Dark Room's going to have the Triforce. This, however, could be it for her.
Zar does get the ladder out of level 1, Now, the battle is on to get enough Triforces to get into 9.
Just gotta spend a key here.
From Czar's perspective, it's a 50% chance of bow in 9 at this point, thanks to all the hints. From our perspective, it's 100%. We know the bow is in 9.
And I think the good thing for both runners is I think they're both going to make the gamble. I really do. So Zardia now is going to use this ladder, get the last Triforce, and make that play into 9. Sparkover, I think she's at 50%, or maybe even better in her mind that it's at 9. So I think they're both going to make that play into 9. So it's going to be a very, very close race.
Let's see. Has seen the red candle, correct?
No, she got the Triforce out of 5 without getting that red can. No, she did see it. She dug through, and she picked it up even.
So I think that's 6, 7, 2, and 9 for Spark. So that one extra one on the table because of not having to hint at a 2.
So 40% in her mind, that's still good enough.
Actually, 4 as well because it doesn't have the book. So 2 extra items. Not as good a play. However, if you have enough Triforces, you're still more likely to find it in 9 than any other dungeon. Individually.
Yeah, and you've got to do the undercover work of finding Ganon and finding her anyway. This is going to point her to her 5th Triforce. Oh my gosh, it's in the complete other side of the level. But that was good for her to find. She doesn't have to clear any of the rooms. You know what that is? That's the bunny room. That's the item room that she did not want to clear. Oh, she's going to have to clear those bunnies. Man, this is going to be tough sledding. I mean, you just take one at a time, lock in your kills, and keep churning at it if you want this. It's a known Triforce. It's right here. The enemies are pretty easy. I mean, bunnies aren't that hard. They're not that difficult, especially with Wand and White Sword. You can chip at them away with using both the B and A's to get 4 hits apiece. So she'll only take like 3 or 4 hits on each one, depending on how she registers the hits. Just be very careful and lock in your kills by leaving the room, and she should be able to take these out pretty easily.
Well, I can't tell if that was all hits on the same one, but I think I got to... It seemed like 6 on one, but I guess that was actually 2 different ones. Looks like 4.
Now she needs to lock in those kills. Yep, she's doing the right thing. So now if she dies, if you're not familiar with how the rando works here, or the vanilla game, if she dies, the kills that she has are locked in. So now there's only going to be 6 bunnies instead of 8, no matter how many times that she comes back into this room. So getting this heart doesn't do anything because, but that's a great clock.
Chad asks about the ring situation. Level 7 for 250 rupees in only one shop we've seen. That's the ring situation.
But the other more important situation is Sparkover now has 5 Triforces. She has her entry into 9. Both runners know level 9 is at vanilla start, so it's very accessible. They're going to make a beeline there. Sparkover's close now. She's just going to go straight there, I believe. Check out what level 9 has to offer, and for all she knows, she might find the bow and trip across the bow. She's 33% in her mind. She has 6 items still out there, we believe, and there's 2 in 9, so she's 33% for level 9 to have it. I think she's going to go anyway.
The only other thing you could do would be go after short dungeons, but you intentionally noped out of level 2, the shortest of the remaining dungeons, because Bizropes.
He also does not have the White Sword item either, which adds 1 more.
Now that at the Forgotten spot, and Spark was there but went north and did not come back down to the Forgotten spot. That may be a routing decision.
So I think we're actually 2 out of 7 right now instead of 2 out of 6. So she's 28% or so, 29% for this to be the right play. She's still going in, and you know what? I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I just feel like anytime it's one item, you got to make the play on 9 until you know otherwise.
Yep, I'm totally with you. Yep.
Now, if level 1 were still on the table and you had 2 items there, okay, 2 over 9. But that's about what it takes to me.
All right, so here's the difference between Sparkover and Zardia. Like 5 minutes into this race, Sparkover was able to get the Wand and the White Sword out, which allowed her to clear those bunnies out of 3. Watch what Zardia has to do now, and Zardia has to make the decision whether or not to do this. I don't know if the bunnies were 10, 11, what they were. They took 4 hits a lot of times with the sword and and Juan combination that she had, this is going to take a lot longer for Zardia and be a lot more risky. It's still the correct play. It's a known Triforce right here, but this is just going to take a little bit longer, and that's all because of the combat advantage Sparkover had early on.
Sparkover entered level 9, 53 minutes in. We know it's the right play. The bow is here. Sparkover has to find it.
It's going to be a Patra guard in this bow, isn't it? Pesky Patras.
Can we talk about how unlucky they were on the enemy set in this one? Because this is the third Patra dungeon.
That's better than... Honestly, Gorillas are the worst enemy set to me, so I'll take Patras all day long. They're pretty tame. You kind of know their pattern, you kind of know where they're going. It takes a while to kill them sometimes, but they're pretty harmless. They're just misunderstood.
It definitely helps when you have the one though. Hi, Zelda's room.
Well, that is a very quick, good find for Sparkover. Again, she's exploring things, looking for the 2 items in here. Stumbles across Zelda's room while doing that. So, what a great first find for her. I just want to commend Zardia on this once in here, and I think he's going to be able to clear these out. This is just really well done. It's not an easy room because you only have 2/3 of the room to work with. Luckily, sometimes the bunnies get caught over there on the right side, kind of just jumping around because they need a spot to land before they keep jumping. But Zardia did a fantastic job with that combat there in that room. Zardia now has his 5th Triforce ready to go to 9.
Has a 1 heart advantage. At this point, the biggest thing would be if Zar perhaps picks up some sort of defensive advantage. The biggest one that comes to mind is the blue ring, but I don't think there's a shop near 9.
Yeah,
if there's a magic shield, a lot of people don't think to pick it up, but you got 255 rupees. You can't take them with you into the next seed. If it's there, take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you go in and let's say you come back out for bombs later or something like that, and you know that magic shield's close, and let's say he saw it as a Wizrobe set. Now, being a Darknet set, maybe not, but if it was a Wizrobe set, absolutely for sure. If you have to duck out of there and you know a magic shield's close by, it's definitely worth it. Especially in a seed where you know you're not getting that red ring because it's in 7.
So it's about 3.5 minutes later that Zar enters level 9. And if Zar's not 100% knowing that the bow is here, and I think it's 50% from his perspective again, but this is definitely the right play.
Yeah, absolutely. This is quite a race now. So we thought this was going to be this way. I mean, it looked like it was, pretty heavily one-sided one way. We thought there was going to be a key differential, which there is. So right now you've got Sparkover with 5 keys, but better combat because of the white sword and wand, or better damage, I should say. And then Zardia's got the any key and the book, which is going to point him towards where Ganon is and the girl, most likely. So, I mean, you've got 2 different dynamics here, even in 9, the way this seed is played out. This has been a fantastic race to watch.
Other thing that could come into play is how fast... Did we just hear Ganon? We do hear Ganon.
Yeah, I'm trusting you. I don't have audio on, so okay, whatever you hear.
Sparkover hears Ganon, stops to mark it, but can't do anything about it yet without the bow.
Blue Boomerang putting in work. Them ropes are 0 HP, so is able to knock those guys out. So which way of this are you on, Trenton? There's 2 schools of thought here. One is to take every single stairway, because in level 9 in a vanilla game, you're going to have 6 transport staircases, which is actually 12 total staircases, each end of them, and then 2 items. There's 14 staircases to check. Some people take the staircase all the way through to eliminate 2 at a time. Some people say, I want to stay exactly where I am in the quadrant I am and knock out any room I can, and then I'll take staircases later. Which way do you like to do it?
I am generally a take every staircase you can first, but it's situationally dependent. Now here, you absolutely have to find the items, which means you need to see what's in every single staircase you come in across. If you take off 2 of them at a time, you could theoretically cut half your exploration time that way.
Check out this path that Zardia has taken. That's 3 key doors in a row that he was able to just pop and not worry about. Sparkover's down to 3 keys total. Can't do the type of thing that Zardia is doing right now. So that key difference we talked about at the very beginning, may be huge here at the end for Sparkover.
You talked about Sparkover having the combat advantage because of the offense. Subtlety, and I keep using that word. Czar does not have to kill a lot of these rooms, because if it's not a staircase, he's not really interested right now. He's got 6 bombs. He's only needs them when he finds bomb walls, and there keeps having bombs pop up on the ground, so it's not like he has to farm for them.
Yeah, the only thing he's even remotely interested in is bombs or the compass. But I believe if he takes the same stair that Sparkover does, he's going to find Zelda's room pretty quickly. Then that eliminates the compass altogether. And like you said, if you're full on bombs with the any key and you have Zelda's room knowledge, you can fly through 9. You can absolutely fly through it because there's no reason to stop at all.
Looks like Sparkover might be trying to figure out which way exactly is Ganon and which way has not yet been explored.
So it's important to mentally note that room right there that Sparkover's in, because that's going to be a room that Zardia is going to get some info on that Sparkover does not. Now, none of these old men inside 9 are going to give you where the bow is, but they could absolutely tell you where Ganon is.
They can tell you the quadrant for Ganon, the quadrant for Zelda, and what enemy guards the compass. The compass, of course, pointing to Zelda, which is the more important piece of information. Ganon you're going to hear from an adjacent room, so it becomes a lot easier to find him than to find Zelda. And Zar just found Ganon.
So that's great knowledge for Zardia. As that, we saw that it's going to be very quick into... Oh, he probably wants to get to the left side here and avoid Ganon if he can to see if you can bomb through. Does not, unfortunately, takes a hug.
Chad making another good point that's, in general, there is a hint for the silvers, which we do not need in this seed, but as a general principle, it will tell you what quadrant for the silvers if they're in 9, or will say the silvers lie elsewhere.
A little concerning for me that Zardia bounced out, but maybe Zardia said, you know what, I am not going to be able to get through 9 that fast. I know the red ring is in 7. Let me just item dig 7. I don't need the Triforces. I don't have to stop anywhere. Let me item dig 7 for the red ring and come back to 9 and be able to get through there without dying. Maybe that's what Zardia is doing. We're going to refill on health and maybe item dig 7 here.
Maybe health, or maybe it's a blue ring play, because Zar does have max money and could afford the blue ring.
Yeah, that's either one. So either go buy the blue ring or just jump into 7 and see if you can find red ring pretty quick. Zardia looked like he wanted to jump in there, so I think he's going to do that. I don't know, maybe he didn't see that blue ring shop or not, but he knows. He's got the book, so he had the hint. He knows the red ring's in here. He doesn't need to stop for any room besides item dropping rooms, or stairway rooms. So this is going to be a pretty quick, as quick of a 7 as you can have and ever want is going to be Zardia's.
The rupee boss doesn't matter for Zar.
So this gives Sparkover a little bit of time now to plan key usages wisely. She doesn't want to come out of 9 now. She's in 9 unless she just completely gets blocked by keys. And unfortunately, what she'll probably be doing is digging levels, like a level 7. She doesn't know that the any key is not in 7. She might be digging and looking for keys. She could buy a couple, which would be probably better for her than going into other levels. But this might be an unfortunate situation to where she's going to be key starved out of this 9.
We've seen it be a winning play before, leaving 9 to purchase the keys you need to continue.
Yeah, we saw Adaginos have to do it, I think, in his 4th match or his 3rd match, and it worked out. I mean, he had to do it a couple times, so it can happen. You certainly don't want to leave 9 once you get there, right? It's one of those things to where it's a kick in the gut. You never want to leave there. You're like, okay, I got my 5 Triforces, I got almost everything. I don't want to leave, and the game kind of makes you leave. So you just don't want to have to ever do that.
We know that ladder was recorded. Ladder was required. I think it was for the red ring, unless it was for the red candle. But it's not to say it couldn't be recorder blocked too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it could absolutely be Dig Dogger blocked or something like that. Not having the bow, the red ring could be Goma blocked as well. That could be a situation to where he gets all the way in the south end and you got a 2-block room that's an item room and it's unfortunately under a Goma. So this isn't a sure thing for Zardia. This is definitely a risky play.
Sparko for taking another death in 9. I think this is number 3. Zar had similar if you count the up and A's. But a little brutal place to be with just the normal tunic. Now,
I wouldn't buy that.
That is...
Oh wow, I wouldn't have bought that. I don't mind it because you've got a couple more bombs to use for exploration and stuff like that. I think it was kind of one of those quick purchases. But if you had to do it over again, I'm not sure if you would, just because that takes you out of blue ring territory now. If we are blocked to this red ring, and the only reason you left here was to get more defense, then that really crippled your chances of getting that blue ring.
Could, in theory, set you up that much better for 9, but was not short on giving us bombs.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it could be the play that absolutely wins it, but man, here's another Dig Dogger block if you're not bombed through here. And we know the recorder's in 9, so there's, I mean, you could just be up a creek right now.
Zar does not know it is in 9. That is one of the things we know. For Zar, it's 50% whether or not it's in 9.
You almost want to maybe go right and try to bomb south. I don't know if he tried to do that in the other room. He's on the left side of this. 7 starts one room to the right. So he's got to clear this room, I think, go right and try to bomb down. I think that's his only way around that, if that's possible.
Sparkover, meanwhile, still covering ground in 9. We know this is the right play. For Spark, it's something like a 1 in 4 chance at this point. Maybe a little better.
Here's a room I don't think she's cleared yet. Clear this Patra. This is a potential item room for her, so I don't know if she wants to pop this last potion to be able to get through this. She is going to go ahead and do it.
And let's keep in mind, that potion was from a bonus shop. Sparkover did not find the letter.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was her last one, so she's either got to beat the game on what she's got now or, start using fairies and stuff if she takes deaths. So you got to hope Sparkover can finish it off quickly.
Only 1 key left. Finds the bow!
Speaking of finishing out quickly, it was a Patra blocking. It was on the right side, not the middle. Sparkover found exactly what she needs. She's heard Ganon. She knows where Zelda is. If she can finish this off with the last 6.5 hearts that she has, Sparkover's going to win this match.
I did perhaps reverse my runners. Chat saying that Sparkover purchased 2 blue potions. It was Sparkover who found the letter, not Zar.
Yeah, that's right. She bought the 2 blues and saved the $5, so that was nice.
There's another mugger. Zar has to pay it off. You have to at this point. You're committed.
Well, you bought the extra 2. You might as well give 1 back. And Sparkover now in a moat room for her to fight Ganon on green tunic. So this is going to be a challenge. If she can stun lock Ganon here on the right side, she's got a pretty good lock. There's 3. Only needs 4 or 5 more hits for Ganon here. There's 6. There's only 1 or 2 more, depending on how Ganon rolled this time. Getting a very, very favorable fireball pattern. That was a great fight by Sparkover. Got a little good luck on the RNG there, but she knew the mechanics of that fight. She knew how to fight that. Placed herself well, and down goes Ganon. What a great fight from Sparkover on green tunic in a moat room. Nice job.
That is a non-trivial scenario. Any runner will tell you that. And Redbird's telling you that. And he is certainly one of the good runners in this one.
Yeah, that was just an excellent
magic
fight.
staircase right to Zelda.
She knows where Zelda is. This is just game, set, and match. Trenton, call it out for us.
Link is rescued at an official SRL time, 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 34 seconds. A big GG to Sparkover.
Chad, give her some love. GG's in chat at 108. What do you say? 108.34. Nice job by Sparkover. Zardia now in 7. Can't blame him. I mean, he saw that it was going to be a tough 9. Wanted to come out and get the red ring. Made a decision that, hey, if red ring is pretty quick here, I'm going to have an advantage going back into 9. Going to get the red ring now, but it's just a little too late. Sparkover used the combat advantage and the strength advantage she had with the white sword and wand to bring the victory home. What a great and fun race by these 2.
We didn't mention this earlier, but Sparkover actually not feeling 100% tonight, a little under the weather, so battled through that. And let's see if we can't get Spark over in here.
Zardia is going to probably have a pretty quick 9 after this. I mean, he did a lot of exploration. With the red ring now, he's going to have the defense to get through the rest of this. So hopefully he routes himself over to the bow pretty quickly and finishes it off.
Is that Spark over?
Hello.
Very big GG to you.
Thank you. It was a fun little seed. I had a little bit in the sort of probably around the 40-minute mark where I really felt like I wasn't getting too much done, but that was a really cute level 9, like just with the staircase. The Zelda, so close. I liked that.
We knew at the point you went into 9 that the bow had to be there based on your routing plus SARS, but you did not. Tell us about the decision to go into 9.
Pretty much I had 5 Triforces and had all of the 2 item dungeons covered already, so I figure I usually like to scout 9 and see how it goes. It's sometimes a good decision, not always when I only have the green tunic, but you know, it seemed to work out this time. I even very stubbornly fought Patra and it actually paid off, so I'm kind of glad I used the potion on that.
Zar left 9 to get the red ring, just came back in, and just found the bow.
Oh, nice. Where was the ring?
The red ring was in 7.
I don't think I even found 7.
It was buried deep in 7.
4,
It was the vanilla potion shop that was north of Vanilla 3.
Zar's find of the book gave us a lot of information without either of you actually seeing it. He did find Ganon's room, so should be able to get through there. Do you remember one spot you may have forgotten to explore? The magic key was at the forgotten spot.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I never did come across the white sword item.
Alright, last thing
Yeah,
I have
most
to ask...
of Death Mountain I haven't seen. Sorry, go ahead.
I have to ask you about this Ganon fight, because you went in here to this moat room with just green tunic.
Yeah, I was afraid, and of course the second I saw the moat room, there were some, very inappropriate words said, because I had a very bad experience with that previously in a different tournament race. But pretty much I had just burned up my potion resource on the Patra fight, which turned out to be a good decision. So I figured I would just take at least one attempt for it. If it was too tricky for me, I probably would have gone out and bought a potion.
Zar has Ganon down, but did not find the path to Zelda yet. So you put up the crooked number for the Swiss round. Any final thoughts on the Pentaforce tournament for you?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely didn't think I would come in with any chance of, probably making it into the bracket. But I had a lot of fun with the matches. The seeds, the flags make a lot of shenanigans. So it was a lot of fun to enter, and I'm glad I did. And I'll probably enter the next randomizer tournament as well. So it's been fun. Thank you to pretty much anyone who's contributed as far as, restreaming, commentary, tracking, even just hanging out and watching. It's been a lot of fun, so thank you for having me.
Thank you, Spark. Redbird, any questions?
I just want to know what you were thinking when you saw the compass in 3 point you back to the bunny room.
That was another point of saying some impolite words.
I figured. Sparkover, that was very well played. It was a pleasure to watch you, and you played very well this seed, so very well. Very good job.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm gonna scoot away because my voice isn't too happy with me right now, but I will watch the rest of this run, and have a lovely night, everybody.
Alright, thank you, Spark.
Take care, Spark.
During that, Zar found the compass. Has not found the actual path yet, but found out you couldn't come from the north.
Yeah, I think this was just a southern room only Triforce. So I think this is going to be a magic staircase that we're going to wait for Zardia to find. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a situation also to where the having the compass is going to be not beneficial because he's going to be trying to bomb and get there every way he can. But I think it was just that staircase. Unless you can bomb into that staircase room, he's going to have to find that staircase to get you there.
And that staircase was right by Ganon too, so that means there was one Zar didn't explore. So you can't get there from the west, you can't get there from the north. Oh wait, maybe you can.
I don't think there's a door here, though, is the problem.
Yeah, but can you go west here? It's gotta be the only question. You certainly can't bomb into Zelda's room. But no, you can't go west here either.
Yeah, I think unfortunately just looking at a magic staircase, and that's sometimes those compasses, they're great because you know exactly where they are, but they just completely mislead you in the direction you have to go. Sometimes you have to go east to go west, and it's just unfortunate.
That was early. Zar found that Sparkover found that before actually finding Ganon.
Yeah, I think it was first staircase
really
taken
early.
too, so it'd be very early.
Yeah. So you asked me early on in this 9 about what I do first. Well, right there goes to show you the potential of checking those staircases first.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's down now in the tooth of the skull, so won't be able to bomb left, unfortunately. I'm with you. I check every staircase. You can't fall. I mean, everybody has their own different way, right? You can take somebody that checks every staircase, and the very first one takes you to the northwest, and Ganon is 1 room north or 2 rooms north. So you spend 5 or 10 minutes up in the north and the west side and never find Ganon because you took staircases. So everybody has their own way. You can't fault anybody for the way they go. I like to take staircases too, but this time it happened to work out for Sparkover and did not work for Zardia.
Yeah, it definitely works both ways, but the other thing about taking the staircases is typically you can go right back into it if you don't like the direction you're in. It just lets you rule off 2 staircases instead of just 1 on your map.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it. If you're looking for an item, because it has to be one of those 14 stairs, you take 1 and you take it across to the other side. Well, that's 2 now out of 14 instead of just the 1 that you backed out of and kept going in the same direction. So, yeah, I like knocking off as many as you can early by going all the way through them. I think with this up A that Zardia is going to be able to find it unless he marked a stair as not a stair or something like that and is a mismark.
Or maybe he has it marked and didn't mark the other side, so now he says, well, I better check it.
No, this is it right
This
here.
is it.
This is the one that, yeah, Sparkover came out of after finding her. So Zardia should be done pretty quick. Oh, and I thank God for the red ring because I almost forgot. I thought he was going to die right there on that second bop. But Zardia does finish with an SRL time of 1:17:40. Get your GGs out for Zardia. Very well run game.
Finishes it out, a good effort for him. It was a nail-biter. It could have gone either way. If that 9 had been any more difficult, it might even have paid off to go get the red ring. Send an invite to Zar. Not sure if he'll be able to join us. Again, hope you'll show your support to both of these runners. They both do a lot of work in the randomizer communities.
This was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. This tournament has not been low on the drama. When you only need those 5 Triforces, the differences in items and in routing makes such a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it, the different dynamics all through the race, and we're going to talk. Zardia is going to pop in here. We're going to talk a little bit about what we thought the difference was. What I thought the difference was just that advantage in combat early on that I think that Tetra had. Sparkover had. Tetra's tracking for us. I looked over there. And I think that was just the difference in the race here. And as we're talking about it, Zardia joins us. Zardia, GG.
GG, everyone. Man, the bow has haunted me this entire tournament.
I thought it was funny that you called it heading into this race. You know, you joked about Bo being in 7 or whatever, and it was indeed the Bo that was putting you in go mode. So, yeah, there was kind of a haunting early synopsis for the entire seed by you early on.
The entire tournament, for that matter. I did not have a seed that was sub 1 hour with me and my opponent. I did not have a seed where Bo was in any other location than 7 or 9.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
It worked out interesting with the hints. You were able to get a lot of information along the way without even having to see the items. So you made the decision to leave 9 to get that red ring. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I saw Patras, I saw Ganon. I thought the room might be past Ganon, so red ring gave me a better chance to kind of get by him and bomb over. But, you know, of course it was the one room to the right that I did not bomb.
Well, yeah, I mean, and having the knowledge that you knew exactly where the red ring was, it made a lot of sense to jump in there. And, you know, if you get an early staircase or something, it's 2 or 3 rooms in, then all of a sudden you've got a defensive advantage. I think it was a pretty heads-up play to know where that was and see the enemy set in front of you and decide to go ahead and do it.
So early on, looking for the Armos item, you went up to where the Vanilla Blue ring shop is, saw it was a staircase, and never went back. It was level 8 with the wand and the white sword.
Of course it was. I was right there, guys. This entire tournament has proven I am the master of anti-routing.
You did, however, get the magic key, which Sparkover did not, so that part did work out for you.
Yeah, if you watch it back heading into 9, she had the offensive advantage because she had white sword and wand, but you had the key advantage, and she ran out of keys pretty quick. If you remember, there's a lot of keys in the key doors in the middle of 9 as you were exploring. Unfortunately, Bo was on the right side through a bomb hole, so it didn't work out that way, but any key could have absolutely won this race for you.
Yeah, it was just a matter of luck. Well, not all of it. I'm sure Sparkle played well. She finished about 10 minutes ahead of me, so that's not sure, everyone. It's I don't want to say I got a bum rap, but that Bo, though.
It's always something, right? There's always I lost one because I was looking for silvers in 9. It was one bomb hole away too. So I mean, I've been there as well. So it's just happens to everybody. You had a hell of a race though. I mean, the taking out with the wood sword, 8 bunnies in 3, went on a Triforce that you didn't want to have to leave there and go somewhere else for a Triforce. That was very. I mean, I think it was damageless. It was great combat, and you were very heads up all the way through. So very well run race. Just didn't work out in 9 for you.
Yeah, overall, I think I played well this tournament. Combat was good. I don't think I had any more than 4 or 5 deaths in any of my seeds. Just the game knows that it's Czar playing, and it says, hey.
So separate yourself from the Bo situation and the over 1 hour and that type of thing. These flags, did you enjoy them? Did you like the 5 Triforce aspect of them?
I did. I think it speeds things up. I think it adds a lot more to your gambles and the percentages of level 8, level 1, and level 9. With a 8 Triforce seed, you know, you kind of know how things are going to go. You know, you're probably going to dig a lot of dungeons for items until you're in go mode. With this, you have a lot more variables before you decide to go into level 9, and it's proven to be extremely interesting as the tournament has developed. So thank you to all the tournament staff and for Speed Gaming hosting us. It's been a pleasant experience in the Zelda Randomizer tournament. I did get 1 win, and I'm very proud of that.
Well, you played much better than the record that you finally ended up with, so don't worry about that. I mean, it was on display. Chat was pretty hype all the way through, and there was a lot of positive comments your way towards how you ran the seed. So I think you showed much better than just the 1 win. So GG, thanks for joining the tournament and that type of thing, and good luck to you in the future, man.
Thanks, Redbird, and thanks, Trenton, for notifying me of the race. I was not fully informed of when the race was going to go down, but I was able to set up quickly. And thank you, chat, for the positive comments. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you for a great race, Czar, and Sparkover. Of course, thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting so much of this tournament. Tetrally for being our tracker tonight. And Redbird, always a delight when I get to work with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We got to do this more often, man, for sure. It was a very good time, very great race, 2 great racers. And when you get it this close in the 9, that's exactly what you want when you sign up for it.
With that, we'll say thank you to each and every one of you who joined us tonight watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.